It's Monday. It's morning. And it's macabre.
It's macabre.
I blew it. Let's try this again.
The whole thing. You didn't even
I
say
forgot, dude. I was so
Didn't
focused on
care.
making sure that... Okay. It's Monday. It's morning.
It's macabre.
Welcome to Monday Morning Macabre with Scones and Darcy, the show where we talk about creepy, spooky things, and you come and you listen, and it's an increasingly spooky and creepy time right now.
Yeah.
So, how apropos. We are currently social distancing.
Yeah, this is tough.
And we are recording remotely. So, if you notice a change in audio quality, I pray that you bear with us as we don't leave our freaking houses.
No, I'm here with just my dog staring at me in disappointment.
Yeah, so he's got a dog staring at him in disappointment. I got a wife doing the same. And we will continue the podcast as best we can, given the circumstances.
We can't be stopped.
We can't see the Sling and Dingers heads have put us in two separate cells now. So we can still record. It's just we're looking at each other from across cell bars in the Sling and Dingers dungeons.
Yep, and in our we actually have a third cell that's kind of like we're all pointing in like a triangle, and that's where the band is.
yeah. We're all staring at the band right in front. They're slowly being lowered closer to a lake of alligators.
Yeah,
but you can't stop their spirit. So that's what's going on with us. So again, shout out to everybody who is listening and making the best out of the situation at hand.
Should we get on our high horse like celebrities and tell everyone to stay home and be really mad?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do everyone freak, like every freak out you've seen on the media.
Fuck!
Yeah, like we'll record from our house and be like, let's sing a song in our huge mansion about how
This is
like we all need to love each other more. Today Scones is going to be bringing me the spooky, scary skeleton.
And I plan to send shivers down your spine. So today, we actually was a fan suggestion brought to us.
We got to write in.
By Lucas_Dakota on Instagram. Check out his gram. Or her gram.
Shout out Lucas Dakota. Thank you for hitting us with that message. And anyone else, if you have suggestions on what you want us to talk about, feel free. Follow Lucas's lead. Do what he's doing.
Yeah, you have plenty. You're all quarantined. Just do our work for us. All right.
You got nothing to do. We're out here on the front lines in a cave, trapped in a cell.
So today we're going to be talking about the legend of Carl Pruitt.
The legend of Carl Pruitt.
Now, I know what you're thinking. No, I'm not talking about legendary jazz bassist Carl Pruitt. This is a different guy. But believe me, when I did the research, there's another guy who is very famous, Carl Pruitt.
Now, I've got a full collection of Carl Pruitt records up on my walls right now, so I'm glad you made that specification because I was worried.
Yeah, he was an American jazz and blues double bassist from Birmingham, Alabama.
And he also was a flaming demon who took children in the night.
He also rode a horse that didn't have any legs. All right.
And he had no head.
No, we're here to talk about a very different Carl Pruitt, a man from the sweet, sweet state of Kentucky in 1938.
1938, Kentucky.
So he comes home, this Carl Pruitt, definitely not playing bass.
Definitely not playing upright bass at the nearest jazz club.
He was said to have come home and uncovered his wife's infidelity.
Ooh,
by catching her
with
another man in their own marital bed.
And that was the bassist Carl Pruitt. That would be a hell of a twist. Where he just like, Carl Pruitt opens his door and he just hears like, ba-doom, 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 and he's like, uh-oh. Goes to the bedroom and bam. That's not my upright bass. I play way worse than that.
So, obviously distraught with betrayal, he grabs a chain, which apparently is just laying around in his house.
Wait. He went first to chain?
Oh, yeah, no. It says he grabbed a chain. So apparently there's just like a chain hanging on the door. He's like, what the fuck? That's not my upright bass. And he looked over. Hanging on a coat hanger is a chain.
A chain?
Grabs
It's the classic move of like, looks at gun, looks at knife, sees chain, grabs chain.
and he supposedly strangled his wife to death. While
he didn't even bother with other Carl Pruitt. He went straight to wife.
The jazz bassist was getting outside the window. He was slick. This jazz bassist thought.
Yeah, he was too smooth for that, dude. His jazz was too smooth for it.
He was like, "Ooh, I'm out of here," and then he just because that's how all jazz players talk.
Yeah, that's how all jazz players talk.
They're all and that's the legend of Carl Pruitt.
Oh, great episode! Remember to like, follow, and subscribe.
No. So this is why he becomes known as the Chain Strangler. So a lot of what the research that I'm pretty much going to read you is from a cool little website called Anomalian. It's like anomaly and alien mixed together. Anomalian.
Oh, it's not like Animorphs?
Oh, that'd be
It's on an Animorphs
sick.
fan site? That would be sick.
There's an author. Paul Middleton. Shout out to you.
Hey, thanks, Paul Middleton.
So, once his rage had subsided, he realized that he just strangled his wife with a chain and let a sweet bassist get out the window. Pruitt...
He was more upset about losing the bassist because he was trying to put a band together.
He had 2/3 of a... 2/4 of a quartet. And he needed a bassist and a drummer. Both got away. So he actually ended up killing himself.
Oh, boy. Sharp turn.
Once he had his wife, his wife's family, not surprisingly, refused to forgive Pruitt. And so they
that makes a lot of
buried
sense.
him in a whole different town from his wife.
That you're allowed to do what?
I don't know. His family apparently wasn't.
How did they get to
just? I guess like when they
both
just
get to choose
that like her family came to do all of it, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put her in a nice cemetery," and he's like, "Fuck this guy. We're sending him off to the
to Dumptown Cemetery."
To Dumptown Acres Cemetery.
Oh no, the worst cemetery in the U.S.
So, over the years, visitors to the cemetery soon begin to notice some weird stuff going on with Pruitt's tombstone. Oh. Right?
Pruitt's tombs, dude.
So discoloration starts to appear on their tombstone. And it looks like circles, and then they started to link together.
Oh.
Making it look like a
chain. That's super creepy.
Since then, the legend...
Wait, on the tombstone, you say?
Yeah. So, like, circles just started to, like, appear as it, like, aged.
That's super creepy.
And then eventually they linked up.
Dude, is this where, what's his face? What's Flaming Skeleton motorcycle guy come from?
Are you talking about Thresh or Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider. I'm thinking Ghost Rider,
probably
not Thresh.
Both.
True. So, okay. So we got spooky chains on tombstones. What's next?
So the tombstone starts to get attention from the local townsfolk, including a young group of boys. Now, boys, as you know, when they get in groups and they're having sleepovers, you like to get outside.
Uh-oh.
You like to go to the haunted place. I've been there. I've done that.
We've all done it.
Yep. And then all but one kid fucking dies, and one kid goes back to tell the parents, right? That's how it always goes in movies. No, this isn't in the story.
Oh. I was like, wait, you're really glossing over this.
No, I'm just talking about my childhood. No.
Oh, yeah. I lost a lot of friends, yes.
But you couldn't keep us away.
But had to touch Old Man Jenkins's house.
So, they ride their bikes over to this here cemetery, and obviously there's legend about this tombstone. To impress his friends, one of the boys, named James Collins, throws some rocks at the tombstone. It causes some chips in the tombstone. So, right off, cool kid throwing rocks at tombstones.
I was going to say classic kid. Dude, he was about to float down there.
Kid was destined
We got some
for,
classic kids.
Success.
Yep.
And then the kids, got bored and they decided to ride home. Now, on the ride home, there was a freak accident.
Oh, boy.
James Collins loses control of his bike and crashes into a tree. As it hits the tree, the chain pops off the bike and wraps around his neck and instantly kills him.
This is some Final Destination shit.
Yeah.
Dude, wait, okay, so the chain, all right, we're thematic. At least he was thematic, if nothing else.
Yeah, dude, chain popped off.
A chain popped off the bike and hung the kid?
So I think it just wrapped around his neck, and since he was shot forward from the bike, it just, killed him.
Oh my God. That's dope.
Now, according to the legend, the boy's devastated mother decided to take it out on the tombstone itself. So she's like...
Smart move.
Fuck, this tombstone.
What a dum-dum.
I bet I can bring my boy back if I destroy this fucking tombstone.
Not at the bike company who has the faultiest bike chains. She's like, you know who deserves my rage? an inanimate object in a park.
Yeah, that bike company's PR guy's like, woo!
Yeah, they're like, their law team is like just wiping their brows like, holy shit.
So she decides to go to the fucking graveyard with an axe and start taking it to the tombstone and partially destroying the tombstone.
Oh, Kentucky, don't change.
Especially since back then, tombstones a lot of the time were made out of like limestone or soft like stone. So you could probably do some damage to it with an axe.
I was gonna say that, yeah. So she starts ripping at the tombstone with
she like
axe,
partially destroys
like a
it
dum-dum.
and goes home. Probably doesn't feel any better.
And she goes home on her bike and it loses control. And the bike chain.
There's just a pile up at this tree of bikes just ramming into each other.
Just a bunch of just bikes hanging from the branches. Okay.
So the next day, she's hanging up laundry, right?
Yeah. Classic mom move.
Now, no one knows how, but according to the legend, somehow the clothesline is wrapped around her neck and strangles her.
Oh, man. Oh, I don't know why this is so funny. This is really funny.
It's like the person like drowning in a puddle, you like turn away and turn back.
Yeah,
and
you're like, how did this happen?
Just hanging up laundry. Oh, fuck!
Oh, man. Okay, so she gets tangled up in a clothesline, and that's how she died. What a way to go.
So, also according to the legend, police come to investigate, obviously, her death, and they find her axe, which has like the rock dust on it from the night before.
Yeah.
And then the police get word that, like, from her friend or neighbor or whatever, that she, went to the tombstone, destroyed it. So the police go to the tombstone, and there was no...
Start shooting at it with their guns.
They both,
all of a sudden,
they both choke on their
the
guns.
chains from the engine... Yeah.
Their belts are around their necks.
Yeah, their handcuffs have cuffed each other's necks closed.
No, but... All
right, so they go to the tombstone.
They go to the tombstone, and there's no damage to it.
Ooh.
It's completely intact. Like, doesn't even look like it was hit at all.
Nice. I like that.
Short time later, a farmer is riding on a horse-drawn cart with his family into town. Now, while he's in town, they pass this cemetery, as you can imagine.
I can't wait to know how this guy... like gets mad at the tombstone, because that seems to be the recurring theme. So that everyone gets mad at it and then ends up dying.
Oh yeah. So basically he's driving the cart and his family's like, there's ghosts in there, and he's like, I'm not afraid of ghosts. And so they're like, oh yeah, that headstone in
so
there is
close
like
with the cops.
And
no.
so apparently he pulls out his gun.
What is that? Okay, Kentucky in the early 1900s is lit,
off
dude.
at the headstone.
That's the place to be. This is so cartoonish. So he starts firing at the
People
tombstone.
hated headstones. So once he shoots at the tombstone, as you can imagine, gunfire spooked the horses of the cart.
Yeah, they're getting out of there.
Start to like just sprint, book it.
Okay.
Now everyone in the back of the wagon jumps out, and they get to safety. But the farmer's in the front, and he can't really do that. So he stays on the wagon, and eventually he is thrown from the carriage. And the reins wrap around his neck, and the horses
it's
drag
comedic
him, and
that
he dies.
every single time is someone getting hung somehow. It's terrifying, the thought of a sentient ghost figuring out creative ways to murder people, and it's very Final Destination-y. The chain. Yeah, the chain strangler. That's awesome, actually, though.
The chain strangler.
I like, this is a real good urban legendy vibe to it. I like that. This is like, I'm waiting for when does the movie come out?
Yeah.
When does Blumhouse coming out with a Chain Strangler movie? A24, get on this, guys. You already did like dolls and like now you got Chain Stranglers. So farmer dies. Do we have any more chain strangling?
Yep.
Oh baby, let's continue. I don't mean to stop the fun now.
So later on, got another story. 2 policemen in the town.
Right.
They're convinced the curse is absolute nonsense. and they go to the cemetery and actually take pictures of themselves in the area of Pruitt's grave.
Do we know when this is? Because this sounds like it'd be later on if they're taking pictures and like selfies.
Yeah, this is in like the 40s.
Okay.
So it's like one of them has like a big
a big boy picture camera. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe like they had pictures taken there because they don't want the townsfolk to like be scared of it anymore.
Sure.
So they're like, we went there and we're fine.
Okay. but JK, unless.
But JK, LOL, they're driving home. A bright light starts to follow their car, and they try to speed away.
Oh.
The light becomes so intense that they're actually blinded in the car. This leads to them driving off the road into a fence, and the officer in the passenger seat is actually thrown from the car through the windshield. He survives.
Oh, okay. He wasn't strangled by the fence.
His partner, on the other hand, had been nearly decapitated by a chain between the two fence posts.
What? Oh, classic. Dude, this chain ghost is nothing if not creative. This guy's figured out a lot of ways to... I mean, he's probably had so much time to just sit down there, think of like, man, how can I murder some people with chains? But
dude, he's a master of branding.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need him on our marketing team.
Dude, yeah, literally though.
It's right now all we have for the marketing team is the Hopkinsville Goblins, and they have not helped out.
Not at all.
They're in the cell right next to us, and they are not giving us any.
They're just on the roof.
Yeah, they're just like making metal clanging noises, and it's not helping. That's nuts.
That is nuts.
So 4 chain-themed deaths.
Yep. And then, so bring us up to the 1940s. Most people are rather sensibly avoiding this old cemetery at this point.
Yeah, I bet. That makes a lot of sense.
Except for one local man named Arthur Lewis. He decides, no, fuck that noise.
Okay.
Superstitious stuff is for losers.
Literally after the first one, I'd be on his side and be like, yeah, that makes sense. But now every single person who's ever gone there to prove it wrong has died immediately afterwards.
Cops,
yeah, right? You'd think you'd eventually be like, all right, you know what? Let's just not screw with it. Why do we continue to screw with it?
So he goes and he has a hammer with the sole intention of destroying this headstone once and for all. He's like, I'm just going to smash it and we'll be done with it.
So he's trying to be the hero and end the curse in the town.
Yep.
Bad move,
no one would
bro.
go with him because they're like, fuck that, dude. You're going to grass.
Yeah, you're going to get straight chained up.
So people could hear the hammer bashing against the tombstone. They're like, holy shit, he's doing it. But then this bashing is replaced with blood curdling screams.
Ooh.
Yeah, my cup of blood is just starting to curdle over.
Oh, I like to imagine the townsfolk though, just all like gathering around, like he's doing it. Like he's
holy shit!
Oh my god, he's doing it!
To the tombstone.
Okay, so then it's replaced with screams.
I'm surprised they haven't made the tombstone like the mayor at this point.
I know. I was gonna say, how are they not sacrificing people to it as their god? After the amount of
this is clearly the one true religion.
Yeah, they've found the one true. Okay, so they hear screams. What happens next?
Yeah, so they're like, oh shit. And so they go to investigate the screams, and they find the man with the hammer, Arthur Lewis, dead at the gates.
Just in front of the cemetery.
But apparently he was frightened by something and ran away.
Ooh.
As he got to the exits, the chain that's usually used to lock the gates, he was trying to get like through in between, like while it was shut. You know how you do that?
Yeah.
That are shut with the chain. So he tried to get through that. Somehow it gets wrapped around his neck and strangles him to death.
Shit. Another one.
Yep.
Another guy dies to chain strangling, thanks to the chain strangling ghost. Now,
that's the last. I think that's the last.
The last soul to be taken by old Craig Chain Strangleman. Well, now, can you remind me the guy who died, Pruitt?
Carl Pruitt.
You say
not the bassist.
How did he die?
So he killed himself. So he went found his wife with a legendary bassist. Killed the wife.
Killed her with a chain.
The bassist got away.
Right.
And after he was done being angry, he was like, "Oh, I'm."
Right. He was distraught over his own actions. Right.
I'm getting cucked, and I can't even kill the bassist. And so he just offed himself right there.
Gotcha. And now his ghost is,
as we all would,
haunting Kentucky. Where in Kentucky is this?
Pulaski, Kentucky.
In Pulaski, Kentucky. Hey, if anyone's out there in Pulaski, Kentucky, this sounds like a great campfire ghost story that you can tell your I don't know, troop of scouts or whatever. I like this because it's very suburban ghost story-y. It's got all the elements of a classic spooky tale.
Yeah, and everyone that tried to like destroy it, they apparently just like didn't do anything to it because it just lasted all that time.
Yeah, it just keeps coming back to life over and over and over again. That's super cool. I like that.
And so a crazier part, so after all of these deaths, members of the community who had like any kind of family in there literally had the remains dug up and moved to other places.
So people were so afraid of this that they dug up the corpses of their like dead relatives and moved them to different cemeteries?
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's how you know it's legit.
So eventually the whole cemetery is just Carl Pruitt.
So now it's just Carl Pruitt's lone grave that nobody.
Headstone in this. That's a chilling image in my head. Just
it is just a single headstone in a huge cemetery. Oh, that's creepy. That's super cool.
Is hanging people.
Yeah, it's just like anyone trying to. Oh man, that's a classic, dude. We need to write a horror movie about this. This is
we should.
Primo B movie horror. Like,
if there are any people out there who have some screenwriting talent,
here you go.
Let's talk.
We've got.
We'll get in a fucking Skype chat or whatever because the world is falling apart. Yeah,
let's hop into a Skype chat. We'll hit you up on Instant Messenger. On AIM 6.0, we'll hit your buddy profile up and then see if you got the chops to make the screenplay for us.
Unfortunately, you can't go to Pruitt's grave.
Oh.
Apparently, in 1958, it was destroyed in a strip mining operation.
Hey, we finally did it. Thanks, strip mining.
But apparently, like, how come none of the strip miners were...
Yeah, they had TNT from afar that they just blew it up with, right?
They were protected by the union.
Even Pruitt was like, bro, I can't do nothing about that. A kid on a bike, sure, but a union? That's too much legal firepower that I'm not able to defeat.
There's apparently a book that includes this, Troy Taylor's book, Beyond the Grave, published in 2000. Beyond the Grave by Troy Taylor. Okay, cool. Yeah, Beyond the Grave, History of America's Most Haunted Graveyards.
That's super cool. So this is a legitimate grave that you could like find. Well, now it's destroyed by strip mining operation.
Yeah, not anymore.
But like there's documentation on this grave.
That I don't know. So that's where we get into some of the hairiness beyond this legend.
All right, a gray area, a grave area.
Ooh,
see what I did there? Ooh, shoot. 5 stars.
So, apparently there's no local papers or official paper trail for Pruitt's death or the death of any of these other people.
Gotcha.
Now, you can chalk that up to being in rural Kentucky in the 1930s.
In the early, yeah, right.
Or you could chalk it up to legend.
But this is like... at the end of the movie where like everyone's like, oh, it was all just a fake thing, and then like a chain shoots out of the ground or something. I don't know. Something like that happens.
You hear a chain coming.
Yeah, you hear a chain. This actually, it is on theme for Ghost with the whole chain rattling stuff.
It is.
That makes sense.
The end of the movie would be like the point of view camera coming up behind like the person at the campfire.
Yep.
And like you hear the chain rattling and then it cuts to black.
Yep. Dude, we're writing it already, so we don't even need whoever listener is a screenwriter. We got it. I like that a lot. That's very like spooky in a fun, creepy urban legend way. And I think we have done a lot of straight cold case murder things, but never like a spookier urban legend. Well, we've done a couple, but like I like that. It makes me think of Halloween.
Ghost story?
Yeah, like an old-fashioned campfire ghost story.
Yeah, that's what the world needs right now.
Guys, we need some horrific stuff in these incredibly happy times, and we're bringing it to you.
I've also seen that the 2 police officers that went, they were like taking pictures of it. They were actually sent by a local congressman.
Congress got involved. A congressman was like,
"Yeah, our tax dollars tried to get to the bottom of
tried to solve a ghost mystery." Oh, Kentucky.
They couldn't do it.
Kentucky.
The bureaucracy just can't handle the supernatural.
See, I'm now going to be super weary of any time I see a chain. Like, I'm looking around my room right now to make sure there's no just like chains hanging where I could just like, hey, they found him dead. He was trying to do his laundry in his room and then he just hung himself.
That sounds ridiculous. One is the woman doing laundry and just...
That one is actually dead. Insane. Huh. Well, thanks, Scuns. Thank you for bringing this this spooky legend. And actually, thank you to Lucas Dakota.
I was going to say, don't thank me.
Thank Lucas, which is like a sweet name, by the way, Lucas Dakota.
Yeah, that's your real name. That's fucking strong.
Don't thank me. Thank Lucas Dakota, Private Eye. That's thank you so much, dude. And thanks to everyone who's been listening. We're seeing numbers go up in a good way. And
I wonder if people listen to podcasts more.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like
driving.
Are you just stuck at home? And you're like, I gotta listen to podcasts. Let us know. You know, I'd be interested to know what your listening habits are in a non-analytical email marketing way.
Yeah, please don't solicit to us. I don't want any kind of webcam services or like.
Yep. The higher ups.
Anything.
In Slinging Dingers who are sending us food through our cells have been liking the numbers. So thank you very much, everybody, for that.
They've been keeping my water dish full, though. So thank you to the executives here at Slinging Dingers.
Scones gets a nice water dish. I have like a hamster little like tube thing that I have to like smack at to get little droplets out. But they said that the funding ran out and that's all they could do. But you know, I'm #blessed to be here. Thank you all for listening to episode 26. We're getting episodes. We're getting higher and higher. We're deep in the tent game.
We're in the zeitgeist. We're pretty much pop culture.
Yeah, we are pop culture now.
I still think we just need Stephen King to tweet about us once, and
then we're good.
I never have to work a goddamn day in my life.
Please rate, review, like, comment, DM, all those good things. We appreciate it. It makes us happy and it helps us reach more listeners. Keep an eye out every Monday. We'll try to continue to do this remotely, assuming this all works out fine, and see if we can keep the tent rolling through the quarantine. I hope everybody out there is staying inside and practicing social distancing as they should during this time. And I hope you all have a good Monday.
Yeah, Monday morning quarantine.
Monday quarantine COVID. Today.
Goodbye.